Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as thelovebat. And of course, right as I hit the recording button, there's a message that shows up over there in the upper left corner of the screen with the recording hotkeys that I have set up, so we'll just go ahead and deal with all those messages as they come. But I thank you all for joining me here today for another episode of my Let's Play of Diablo, the original, the unfiltered, and just the overall very cool experience of the first in the series, which was more different than many games are made today and ever since in some ways. Diablo 2 is definitely a much different game gameplay and thematic wise, even though it does follow the same story and setting. But yeah, we're getting to a point in the game now where last session we ended up doing several different quests. Some of them was just tying up the loose ends, such as completing the quest to kill, I guess, the smith. Technically, we had already completed the quest to get the Anvil of Fury because we had snuck it away from him at some point to, turn in the quest to Griswold, but we didn't actually defeat him because he kicked our ass. The smith kicked our ass so many times, and we didn't really have a good game plan a couple episodes ago to face him because we just did not have either the tools or just the idea of how do we fight this guy that's super fast. Well, we were able to come up with a good plan because we did a couple of other small little things first, such as going through a side quest that I had not been able to complete earlier because there was a sort of puzzle thing that I didn't figure out before, which I then did last episode. Went back to it and backtracked a little to find it in the catacombs, and I went to the tomes in the correct order this time and was able to open up a passage and then a portal and go into a different area, go through a bunch of stuff, fight some demons that I guess had been sealed away by a very powerful wizard type of character. And so we were able to go ahead and defeat all of these demons, all these baddies, and some of the different, how should I say it, sort of, not totems, but they were like magical energy orb things that were shooting lightning at us. And so we were able to defeat those mana orb things that were also at this new dungeon sort of location. And we're able to go ahead and defeat lots of different kinds of enemies, so to speak. And as a reward for going through that quest line, if I remember correctly, we were able to go ahead and get a brand new spell, which was very instrumental to us defeating the smith, Golem, which is, in the original version of this game, arguably the strongest spell that a sorcerer is able to learn because, well, it helps to tank for you. It enters in another combatant into the fight, and it takes the heat off of you. And so that made some of the encounters that we had a bit more trivial than they were at first glance. The very first time that we faced off with the smith last episode, we were able to defeat him soundly by putting a golem in front of us, having him hold up the smith for just a brief moment in time, and then we just went ahead and chucked a bunch of lightning bolts in his direction, and then that took him out within a couple of seconds. So that was a winning strategy, even though I didn't think it would actually go that well. I thought we were going to get our ass kicked again, and then we'd have to make adjustments, but no adjustments are needed when lightning to the face works just as well with the golem to go ahead and take a few smacks in the face to go ahead and keep the smith at bay. Doesn't really matter how fast the smith is as long as you have a golem to hold him up and cause him to not move. So yeah, golem, very important for a sorcerer, especially at this point in the game. And I had no idea that we'd even get it this early because the way that we got it was through a side quest that wasn't even available in the original game, so it wasn't really guaranteed that you would end up getting access to the golem spell, which is usually either through finding a spell book or a spell tome, I guess, through a random loot drop in the dungeon, or by finding it from Adria over here, the witch on the edge of town, who might occasionally in the original game carry it, but usually you would need to get up another level to more into the dungeon to be able to have her sell the top tier level spells, but we were able to get Golem, and it worked wonders for us.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
Let's see, now that I have plenty of gold, I figured I'd just check here with Adria just to make sure that there aren't any things that I really need. And then another tool that I realized that I had overlooked before and I alluded to last session was the Mana Shield ability, which in the original game was a spell. I thought it was going to be a spell in this game too. Turns out it wasn't, and that's why I never found it, and that's why Adria never sold it. Is because now it's a skill instead of a spell. So because you can't buy a skill obviously at a shop, so I just overlooked that these skills were more relevant than just a staff recharge skill. So I learned that Mana Shield is a skill. Now we have it.
Sense a soul in search of answers.
And it's going to be very, very useful for us to allow us to use that 288 mana pit that we have. The sort of pit full of mana is just chock full of mana, overflowing with mana with a sorcerer, compared to what I would consider to be 3.5 times less the amount of health. So we have about 90 health there. Well, I guess it's about 1/3 roughly. We have roughly 1/3 the health in terms of health that we do mana. So having Mana Shield definitely increases our longevity when we are getting hit in the face, and it makes things a lot easier when you get surrounded if you don't have to worry about dying immediately, and you can still have a chance to chug a mana potion and then try and maybe cast a couple of spells to try and get yourself out of a sticky situation. So right now that's where we are at, and we are just really going to keep going deeper into the dungeon and hope that we go ahead and just keep on kicking ass as a sorcerer, keep on throwing lightning bolts to the face. And I will just go ahead and take this one. Lightning has been a very good spell for us, so anytime that we can find it, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy these spell tomes here. Now there is a staff here that increases lightning here. Phasing, not really concerned about that with the staff, but the bonus to the lightning skill is definitely appealing. But this one increases magic, and all of our spells are increased by 1 level. So yeah, this axe that we got last session is definitely a good one for a mage. We don't really plan on swinging it around or anything like that, but big hefty bonus to magic and spell level increases, definitely great. So I am really happy to have that. And I think that's really all we're going to need. So let's go ahead and see how much damage we're doing with lightning now, which is quite a bit. 4 to 230, definitely good damage. And then this increases it to 4 to 262, so our maximum damage went up by about 30 per second. So the DPS potential for some spells definitely scales higher than others, and lightning is not usually commonly resisted amongst most monsters that we face. So I think that lightning is probably going to be more of a bread and butter spell than the fire-based spells, where demons might generally be maybe a bit resistant to that damage type. Alrighty then. And now we gotta go ahead and contend with all the bad guys here. Oh, and I want to get Mana Shield going as well. Don't want to forget that. Oh, and that's another reason. You have charging enemies and different enemies like that that you occasionally will come across that may surprise you a little bit. And you have ranged enemies as well that are going to try and whittle down your health, as we saw last session. That was really common as well. Lots of spell slinging enemies and lots of archer enemies last session that we had to contend with. And then let's just go ahead and use a potion there. I like to keep the potions on my potion belt nice and healthy so I don't accidentally run out of those in tight situations when I need like there's a unique creature or a boss or mini boss that I'm coming up against. The belt that we have, I assume if we got a higher quality belt or a higher tier belt, I guess, then we would have more potion slots to work with, but right now we aren't quite there yet. We haven't found anything better than the belts that we currently have, so we're kind of stuck with it for now. So hopefully, now that we cleared out lots of these sort of side quests that were left undone last time, I'm kind of hoping that now we can kind of delve a bit deeper into the dungeon now that these side quest things are dealt with. Oh, and it looks like there's a big bundle of them over there. And there's unique creatures, so not a surprise. Alright, let's take him out first. Make sure that you don't have to worry about him later. Yeah, I definitely noticed that there, in the original game, there weren't any sort of like aura type things that would happen as an enemy dies. That, like, you know, the circular things like an enemy exploding with cold or fire or things like that to try and hurt you after they die. There are some enemies that have some spell and magic based abilities in the original game, but generally nothing that happens as they sort of hit the pavement and die. So okay, so nothing too fancy yet that we're finding as far as loot. Potions always helpful, mainly just focusing on mana potions ever since we ended up discovering that we have mana shield, because now we don't really need the health potions quite as much as we thought that we did, so just have to worry about restoring mana, and that should restore both mana and health pools. So okay, alrighty then. Alright, so we have that now. We have a chest, and as always, the chest is trapped. Not a surprise. I'd say, you know, at least 1/3 of all the chests in this Belzebub mod version seem to be trapped, so maybe that was just to add value to the rogue and its disarm trap skill. I don't know, but I don't want to have to constantly cycle through like telekinesis and stuff anymore, so and now we have more charging enemies. Let's get over here through the choke point, and maybe that'll give us a bit of help. Yeah, the best way to go ahead and help deal with the melee enemies and these charging rhino guys is just to try and put a barrier between yourself and the enemies, and then you can just take advantage of that. Alright, that took a long time to make an axe swing, so I don't know if the game was freezing up and it didn't expect me to swing an axe with Sorcerer or what, but okay, this thing right here was getting in my way, affecting my pathfinding there for a second. Well, that cave wall is kind of getting in the way of trying to smack them with lightning. There we go. I had to get a bit more around the cave wall instead of trying to shoot through it. One thing that you also notice for some spells at least is that as you shoot it out far enough, you see the light radius kind of gather around like lightning spells or a fireball that lights up the area as it, you know, shoots forward. So it can be a way to light the area and kind of see if there's any enemies down there in the area as well. It's sort of like a semi-scouting. That way you don't have to walk all the way over there to find out if there's maybe something over there that you don't see in the darkness. Alright, well, this is going to be ugly. Yeah, mana potions also do decently well here, so if we find any regular mana potions on the ground, they might be worth picking up to kind of give us a free restore of our mana here. So we should be able to make short work of the archers here once we just kind of line them up in our lightning bolts and such, but it's just trying to make sure that they don't have a bunch of burst damage coming down on us and taking us down too low and then suddenly killing us kind of before we can react. Yeah, I'm not sure if lightning has like a maximum range here. It looks like the stream of lightning kind of stops as it gets far enough. Kind of stops like right there, so I don't know if I have to get tremendously close in some cases to make sure this doesn't fizzle out before it gets there. Let's see. Alright, so we do have enough magic to do firebolt again, so that's nice. I'm not sure if I plan on using it again since lightning is so effective, but yeah, I mean, firebolt has a pretty reasonable damage there, even for this late in the game, being leveled up as much as it is, so I won't turn down a good thing. There's the Anvil of Fury that I don't need. And the only reason that I'm not having the golem out right now is just because it would probably be a bit easy for the golem to get surrounded in this kind of area. So the only reason that I haven't summoned the golem is because he would just get surrounded and then might die kind of quickly, and I don't want it to just be a big waste of mana, I guess. So are they immune to lightning? They might be, so I might have to switch to a firebolt here. Okay, well, alright, let's kill him first, take care of the ranged attacker. Load up on mana for this guy. Come on. I don't want to have to... I definitely don't want to have to deal with this guy's charge, especially since he's a unique creature. I don't want to have to deal with that. Let's close the door and see if this will help. Alright, so yeah, we were able to get at least a wall between us and him, and thankfully fire worked much better against them than lightning. So yeah, for some enemies, obviously, while lightning does the job against pretty much anything, there are some unique creatures that obviously you're going to have to adjust your plan for, so... Alright, well, back to lightning, since that does the job for everything so far, except for that one unique creature that is already dead, so don't have to worry about him anymore. And then over there, I think we'd have to fight the smith again. Unique creatures usually activate again, even if you've killed them already in your playthrough. I'm not sure how the Belzebub mod handles it. But I don't want to activate him again if I don't want to. Because that's where the smith would teleport in and then try and kick your tail in and kind of make a mockery out of you as they murder you. Alright, so we don't want to go up to level 9. We want to go down to level 11. So we have to kind of find out where the entrance to that is. Well, I don't know if we need to go down here or not. Is there a path that goes down here? There might be. But I definitely don't want to activate the smith over there, so I'm not going to go over in that direction. These guys, however, are easy pickings, being that there's just a big old fence here. I mean, it is kind of unrealistic. These rhino guys should be able to just force their way through these, you know, shoddy wooden walls and such, but, you know, this is just the game. You know, if it were like metal walls or something like that, then maybe I can understand it, or maybe some kind of magical wall or something like that. But like wooden walls and wooden doors, like, these aren't going to stop anyone. I mean, come on, you know. I mean, I'm glad that they have walls at all, and I think that the reason why they're designed the way they are was just to make it more transparent for the player, like as far as being able to see through the walls and having built-in transparency with the design. But as far as the you know, practicality and thematic sense goes, I don't think that wooden walls would really do well in a lava type area, you know what I mean? So we have Flame Wave there, probably not a spell that I'm going to do a whole lot with, but I'll level it up in case I need a little bit of a crowd control type magic later. That's a strong spell, since that's generally what Flame Wave is for. But Lightning so far seems to be doing okay. Okay, well, immune to fire and magic, okay. So now I want to go ahead and just make sure I get my magic, my mana going. So I seem to have killed most of them. I don't know if I killed those champion dudes yet or not. I know that there's like a... Well, I guess I must have killed them because I don't see any other dudes lying around right now, or running around, I mean. Yeah, I think there were a few magma champion dudes or whatever, but I must have killed them already. Now I'm just going to go ahead and lob lightning down over there. Then run a little bit to make sure that I don't get hit while I'm short on mana. Yeah, I'm just doing this just to clear them out, you know, get a little bit of extra experience points, and then if there's any notable loot that drops, then I can consider it. Otherwise, probably just sell it, so... Alright, well there's a bunch of stuff for me to pick through now, so let's see what they've got. Money is obviously helpful just to get the spells from Adria and buy stuff. Whoop, now I need to move a little bit to make sure that I don't keep on getting hit in my health. So instead of burn, baby, burn, it's a little bit of a sizzle, baby, sizzle. Not even sure if lightning sizzles or not. I guess it just depends on your definition, because I mean, lightning can cause fire in real life, so you can go ahead and get a little bit of that electricity action going. It can definitely cause a lot of havoc with fire. Okay, so we have, there's the mana potion right there. Other stuff that we don't really need. I don't think a dagger is really all that necessary. Probably doesn't sell for much, not really something that I think we would use. We need a pretty good staff or magic item to displace the axe that we have. They come out of nowhere from the dark, and then they charge you to the face. Alright, so I think that's all that we've got for this area. I don't want to explore the rest of it. I think that's probably good enough. So now I'm going to go ahead and town portal back to town here. Sell some of this stuff, and then we're going to go down to level 11 and see if we can make some good old progress here.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Oops. And then let's go ahead and get healed up by him. Not that's not necessary, but might as well.
What ails you, my friend?
Alright, what do we have here? Okay, let's gonna just sell that. Mana and vitality is not bad. Less damage taken from enemies, though, is probably still better than increased vitality, just because of the fact that with Mana Shield, it means that our Mana Shield is going to last longer, whereas the vitality, not really something that's looking so hot now with Mana Shield. We probably end up with a little bit more mana than we otherwise would, but the +5 to magic would allow us to level up our spells a bit higher if that becomes relevant. So, and then the lightning resistance can also be somewhat helpful. Magic, yeah, so magic regenerates mana. Okay. Resurrect's not really something that I think is going to be relevant for us, but regenerating magic and a big magic boost is quite nice. However, I think that our spells being increased by 1 level maybe nets us a bit more offensive firepower there, so making our spells more effective probably the best bet for us. And we're pretty far away from being able to use this. I mean, it's a really good item if we were to use it. If we can steal mana with a bow, then obviously that would have some value, but we have plenty of potions stocked up that I don't think it's going to be even necessary.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
So yeah, well, these are all definitely good, and in most cases you probably have a pretty good use for them. I think that the hatchet increasing our spells by 1 level is more valuable than the mana regeneration from this, so... And it's way more resist magic as well, so... Resurrect, not really relevant for the spell that we can cast through it, so... Oh, and we need to take that to Adria to sell it. Okay. See, plate mail sells pretty good. And this is obviously going to sell pretty good, but we're just not going to be able to use it, so off it goes. So yeah, we are pretty well built up with unique items here. Yeah, so we do have some mana regeneration with our belt. Alrighty then, now time to go to Adria, then we're going to go back over and take care of business on level 11. That's waiting for us. And while I'm doing all this stuff in town, I hope that everyone's having a nice, wonderful day. Good start to the week, and hopefully a good start to spring. And hopefully everyone else had like a really good spring break whenever that happens for everybody.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
I am unawares of when spring break happens for everyone necessarily, but I do hope that everyone had a very wonderful time with all the festivities and such. I was mainly indoors, but you know, sometimes that's just the weather for you in the Midwest. So where I live, the weather is totally unpredictable and really, really hard to really do the outdoor activities that you might always want to do, since it just, the weather has a mind of its own in the Midwest. Very chaotic and neutral, if you will. Alright, well, enough chit-chat about my real-life activities. I think it's time to talk more about, shall we say, the dungeon activities. And let's get back to some more demon slaying. Alright, it's pretty plain what we're going to be fighting here again. More lava dudes. And these walls are just kind of getting on my nerves. Walls, then barrels, and it looks like we have the acid spitters again. Yep. And then we have these dudes. Okay, well, looks like those are probably the 3 enemy types that we're going to be dealing with this time around. Kind of annoying to have to deal with more multiple ranged enemy types, but what can you do? Could always find a way to be worse, I guess. It could be those champion gargoyle dudes that I encountered a couple of sessions ago that were immune to everything I threw at them, so... Oh, I don't want to pick up something like that. Not really interested in the mundane stuff. Yeah, I just hate that even if you dodge those acid things, then they might have acid form on the ground that can annoy the crap out of you. Definitely a time to drink another potion, and looks like I have company. I'm just kind of waiting for them to kind of file in so that way I can try and pick them off little bits at a time, not surround me with getting me caught in the walls there and getting picked to pieces by their acid spitting and lava throwing. Oh. Well, I thought I heard the sound of something like jewelry or a ring or something falling to the ground, but I guess not. Yeah, whenever that acid is on the ground and it's dealing damage to you constantly, it's like a constant like armor pounding sound, like when you get hit in melee. Which is kind of funny. It shouldn't really make that kind of sound. It should be something different, I imagine. I just hate being stuck in a tight corridor where it feels like it's going to be hard to maneuver around here. But at least I was able to kill the unique creature there without getting too much damage done to me. And it looks like there's a unique item there that's kind of bugging out on me or whatever, if there is one there. Okay. Definitely take all that gold. So I guess the unique item, short sword. Likely that we're not going to use that, but you never know. The Belzebub mod has had several surprises on its hands, so maybe the new gear has something worthwhile here. Barely managed to get him on that lightning. Accidentally hit the mouse wheel. Here. Sorry for the accidental zooming. I'm using a fresh new mouse, and so sometimes when you do that, the mouse wheel can be a little bit sensitive to the light touches and movement, so it settles in a bit. Well, Lieutenant Iblis, you were not long for this world, and I guess you just wrong place at the wrong time meeting our good old sorcerer here. Don't want to get caught out in the open being surrounded. Just popping my elbow for a second there. Sometimes I just need to stretch out, as it were. So yeah, definitely it's definitely more mundane, well, not really mundane type enemies, but enemies that we've already faced before, and just kind of going through the motions here of just dealing with all of them. And I have no idea what the heck happened there, but hopefully that does not mean that there's a big unique creature coming to deal with us. We have had exploding type animations like that before, but usually it was with like a side quest area. Oh shoot! What the? Are they immune to lightning? Let's deal with these guys. You know what? This might be a time to go ahead and pull out the golem. Golem, get in there. No, it's the wrong way, my friend. You gotta go over there and get in there, man. I'm going to just let the golem handle this. Yeah, that golem took a lot of damage even though he was freshly summoned, so I'm definitely glad to have him, because if I didn't, then I imagine that, well, my guy would have been through a lot of pain trying to kill him, so hopefully not fatal pain in that case. It's pretty much, yeah, if Abe would have been unfortunate enough to not have the golem spell at his disposal, and sometimes enemies like that are really, really tough to deal with. I imagine that a golem would also be a pretty strong type spell to have for a rogue, to have like some sort of melee kind of tank support kind of stuff going on there. I guess it would all depend on whether or not you have enough magic to have the mana to cast a spell like that and make use of it. And there we go with the accidental zooming in again. That's just my luck. Might as well stretch out my fingers a little bit too to make sure I don't accidentally tap it this time. Take care of these dudes. Take care of more demons. Yeah, it looks like he's taking a bit of damage from the acid type stuff going on there. Might as well summon him again. I think we're just gonna kind of need him a little bit here to make life a bit more convenient here. And our golem's just kind of running around in circles here, not really doing a whole lot, but taking the heat off of me still helps a bit, so not really gonna complain. And now we are more skillful. Spells are increased by 2 levels. That's
Not
wonderful.
enough mana.
And I just need to be able to cast them. And that was a pretty cool sight to see where I lined up 4 of those demons in a row and then killed a bunch of the fat demon dudes all in one swift stroke. Yeah, it's kind of nice when a plan comes together and you can just line up a bunch of fat demons and then go ahead and shoot them in the face and take down a bunch of fatties, I guess you could call them. Usually fatties in the video game, or I guess you could call it fantasy realm, is usually a fatty is usually just a really strong dude, and they might have like a fat sack of hit points and that kind of thing. So for anyone who's, I'm not trying to make offensive jokes or anything like that, but that's just generally what, in the old days, I think of a fatty. I think of a big fat sack of hit points that was really tough to deal with. Alrighty. Alright, so we're making a bit more progress here. Another sort of shrine type cauldron thing. And so we have temporary increases to magic and spell level here, so we might as well take advantage of that however we can. Don't think that we're going to be able to take advantage of it on a boss type enemy, but beggars can't be choosers, so. Well, we'll go ahead and take the ring, and we'll take the ring mail if we have space for it. And we don't want the mundane axe. Armor might sell for a decent amount if you can sell it, so might be worth picking up here. Alright, so that's level 12. I'll go ahead and check around the rest of the dungeon just to make sure that I'm not, by a pure chance, missing any like side quest prompts or triggers or anything like that. Since I don't know if with the mod, if there's going to be any additional stuff here that I might miss, so it might be better just to do that and be safe. And I gained another level. Once I take care of these demons, and I'll go ahead and get to doing that. Alright, well I think that's safe to say that we don't need to invest a whole lot into vitality anymore, with magic being kind of the name of the game here. I might raise a little bit into strength as well to maybe use potentially better gear later on with armor and such. Doubt we're going to be switching weapons or anything like that, as we are just a magic user, but armor and gear, definitely nice to have the strength for that. Nothing really noteworthy over here as far as loot. Just a bunch of burning crosses here. I guess I'm not gonna really bother with, but interesting nonetheless. There's some other portions of the game where there's burning crosses. Some of the early game side quest areas that have burning crosses in them, so definitely an aspect of the original game that I remember. And I guess maybe it's kind of supposed to symbolize a little bit of how, you know, hell is, you know, trying to gain control and things like that, and that, you know, your god has no power here. Maybe things of that similar nature, since the cathedral is the first level of the dungeon and like your introduction to it, so maybe that also is part of it. So not a whole lot down here than just a couple more enemies to kill. Nothing major. Full helm, but non-magical, so I don't think it's really worth picking up here. Alright, so that's the entirety of that area explored. Now we have this over to the west. Check this area out. Well, I'm hearing the sounds of something. I'm not sure what, but I don't know, it always feels like there's just like the sounds of monsters around every corner or something, like some demon groaning or something like that. Yeah, thankfully I have resistance to, or lots of resistance to fire here. So these fire spewing enemies at me aren't going to do a whole lot. We have some champion creatures to deal with over here. Yep, I'm just gonna stay my distance and definitely not get close to them. These slippery dudes just keep on evading my aim here. I apologize if I am not entirely accurate with my spell slinging here. I guess I thought that a breastplate might be worth taking along, since it could probably sell for a decent amount. If we find something worthwhile here, we'll pick that up and take it along back home, or take it back to town and pawn it off. And get some more money for some spell tomes. Alright, looks like more of the same over here. We did have some of those champion demon dudes, but they weren't really a factor as long as they couldn't get close to us. So for these enemies, usually as long as they aren't able to get too close, then You usually have the fight in the bag. Now there's another good old stream of lining them up, so always love to see it. Oh, I might want to get out of here. That looks like a powerful fireball. So how do I want to deal with this? I definitely don't want to get hit by that. Maybe I want to line him up. Alright, let's see if we can get him. Is that having any effect on him? I don't think it did. Alright, so we need to make use of the golem. Ow. Alright, golem, get in there. Wrong way. You're going the wrong way.
I cannot cast that yet.
Cooldown or whatever. Lightning enchanted. Okay, so I think I have to try and deal with this guy using fire instead, since he's lightning enchanted. So it's a good thing I cleared out a good bit of area here to work with, so I can kind of run around. Oh, come on, don't do that on me. So I'm gonna kill him by firebolts, is that it? Even though he's lightning enchanted? Lightning enchanted and throwing fireballs at me? Alright, let's get the golem in his face and then maybe we can train him like this. Oh, come on now. I hope his health doesn't regenerate so fast I can't kill him. Alright, please. Come on, die. Come on. Keep on missing with my fireballs here. I really need to kill this guy. Come on. There we go. My firebolts were able to strike true, thankfully. Never been happier for my fire magic to work out, so. But a unique item, so we did get a unique item out of this at least. I guess we didn't need to clear up that much space. Okay, well, at the very least, unique item. And let's see what we get out of this trip. Alright, so it looks like Gillian has something for us here. So as I thought, I knew that there might be some kind of side quest to deal with at this level.
Stay a while and listen.
I guess technically they're not unique items, they're rare items, different sort of rarity or uniqueness or that kind of thing. Unique items usually come from doing some kind of set quest line, I think, for a number of them. And I guess rare items are maybe like the random loot drop type of items, I guess, so not exactly sure how that's determined, but that's the Belzebub mod determination, I guess. That definitely does a good deal of damage, but we're not looking to deal melee damage, so selling that. Yeah, pretty good early game sword, but for this point, not really worth it. Ring mail, ring mail. Extra magic and chance to hit isn't bad, but I mean, it's just mainly for the magic, obviously, but I think that we have Having resist all for these things, I think, is pretty helpful for our defenses, so I think we're just going to be selling all of that.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Yeah, the carrion blow, definitely a decent item if you're a warrior, but for us, not really something that we can use, so... Plus 6 to all attributes is pretty good, but I think that, well, do we want to keep that? Do we value regenerating mana at this point when we just want to focus more on just using potions and having a high mana count? Gives us more resist lightning as well. You know what? We have the money to spare. I think it's worth buying this and not relying as much on the mana regeneration aspect. If we rely less on mana regeneration, which does come a bit slow at this point, I think it's like, what, plus 2 mana every 5 seconds, so we're not really going to be regenerating much mana anyway, so... Earlier in the game, probably more of a factor, so let's see what our difference here would be. So yeah, we get a lot of extra mana, and then more health as buffer, more strength for wearing better equipment, so... We don't get an extra potion belt slot, but that's okay.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
I think at the end of the day, it's worth it to make this upgrade, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Let's see what Gillian has on her mind here.
Beg pardon, but have you heard what has been happening? Some of the men have vanished from the village. Disa's sons, Aeneas and Ruf, claim to have seen strange lights glowing deep within the woods a few days ago, but no one has heard from them since. I too have seen a crimson shimmering from beyond the ash groves, but I've been too afraid to approach it. I fear that Ogden or our healer Pepin may be next. Won't you please find out what has happened?
Yep, so haunted forest. Well, what's this? Okay, well that, I mean, maybe it's a bit spoilerific, but it's definitely interesting that this would pop up since Andariel, from what I understand and from my experience of playing the second Diablo game, is a lesser evil. If I'm understanding, like a lesser, it's one of the one of Hell's lesser evils as far as like demons and such. So, but yeah, this definitely was not in the original game. This is another side quest that was added in. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go to activate this quest.
Beg pardon, but have you heard what has been happening? Some of the men have vanished from the village. Disa's sons, Aeneas and Ruf, claim to have seen strange lights glowing deep within the woods a few days ago, but no one has heard from them since.
Alright, so we have the forest to worry about. Let's go and talk to people in the village about this, actually, and see if they might know anything about it, too, while we're at it.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
Okay, so oh, Book of Lightning, excellent. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I apologize. Sometimes a bit of gas comes up, and sometimes if you have a good meal, then sometimes later in the night you have to deal with the gas issues sometimes. Maybe a couple more potions here couldn't hurt. I'm just going to read those. Keep this stockpile of potions on hand. And let's talk to her about
I sense a soul in search of answers. The succubus is a demon that feasts upon the essence of mortal men. You will find that Andariel has quite an appetite. The town will soon be devoid of any adult males unless you stop her feeding now.
Okay, so now this definitely makes more sense as to why Gillian mentioned that men were missing. So I guess it's sort of the old, you know, leave the temptation on the table for them and kind of, you know, nudge them along, and then when the timing is right, then you just kind of suck their soul out or something like that. So, you know, use your beauty or good looks or sexiness to kind of rope them in, get them into a trap or a situation where you can get away with it, and then you just, yep, you hatch the plan to kill them, I guess is a simple way of putting it. So
what ails you, my friend? Roof and Aeneas are missing? Light, protect us! Is there no place that is safe? Our only hope of returning to a peaceful life rests in you. Please, you must find those boys and bring them home to their family.
Well, I have a feeling that if we're dealing with demons and succubuses and things like that, they're probably not returning home. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're probably not coming back home at this point with dealing with demons and things that are looking to go ahead and kill you and steal your soul and things like that. It's probably not going to happen. It would be very, very wishful thinking, I think.
Can't a fellow drink in peace?
Yeah, I guess a temptress like Andariel definitely does not interest Farnham here. He's had it with those demons. They killed all his friends. The butcher killed them all, and Farnham, he does not want to have anything to do with thinking or talking about a woman like that. So,
what ails you, my friend?
How about you, Griswold?
What can I do for you? I admit that I too have seen these strange lights, but I have not felt pulled towards them. I'll be sure to steer clear of them, and will tell everyone that visits here to do likewise.
Yeah, I suppose too, based off of their descriptions, that maybe it wasn't really an elaborate trap, but more just a you know, something that's kind of playing psychologically on someone, like, oh, here's a pretty little light. Oh, I want to investigate it. Oh, there's a demon here. Oh, and then things happen. I don't know.
Greetings, good master. Welcome to the Tavern of the Rising Sun. Gillian has been going on and on about strange lights in the trees, but I haven't been able to make heads nor tails of her story. I certainly haven't seen any strange lights, and if I did, they would be the least of my worries.
Yes, I guess Ogden maybe not so concerned about these lights, but I guess if he knew what was happening with them, then he probably would be more concerned.
Psst, over here. You know, I've been looking for those lights, but I can't find them. If Gillian says they are there, I believe her, but I have yet to see them for myself.
And it also seems like from the talking to the townspeople here that the lights are a bit elusive to some people, I guess. So I don't know if maybe it just means that Andariel has certain kinds of people that it's targeting, or that she is targeting, I guess. And only certain people are seeing the lights, so Let me talk to Griswold again and see what
Well,
he said.
what can I do for you? I admit that I too have seen these strange lights, but I have not felt pulled towards them.
Okay, so what I guess what I'm gleaming from this here is that I guess certain kinds of men are seeing the lights, and maybe it's a matter of willpower to not allow yourself to be drawn towards them. So Griswold, he could be strapping, buff man perhaps, whereas someone like Ogden, he's not exactly a strapping man perhaps, and then you have Wirt, who is just a kid, and so wouldn't probably be the target of such things. And so, yeah, certain kinds of men seem to be drawn towards this light, or at least they're the ones that see the light and are maybe being targeted with it, whereas other people aren't seeing the lights that are being spoken about here.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. While the barmaid may seem a bit confused at times, it is true that men have been disappearing from the village. It reminds me of ancient writings about a demonic temptress called Andariel. Known as the Maiden of Anguish, her thirst for mortal blood was so great that she sought to learn a spell to breach the mortal realm. By seducing one of the dark sorcerers of the netherworld, Andariel took the knowledge she needed and so began to lure mortal men into her dark corner of hell. If these legends are true, she is not a creature to be taken lightly.
Okay then, well, we have a bit of background here, and so the powers of seduction are apparently one of Andariel's weapons, so I'm sure that it won't work on us, but I don't know if there's going to be like some kind of flavorful magical ability that will try and influence us, or if it'll just be straight up fighting and battling once we meet her, so... So I'll tell you, oh, what's this? Okay, so an underground passage. I'm not sure if that's, oh, that's the, I think that's going down to, no, it's not going down to the caves. It must be where Andariel is. I mean, that has to be the way, I think. So we'll come to that. I guess we don't have a path going out to the forest with like an outdoor location. Maybe that's just the only thing that the mod author could do within the realm of their budget. So, or maybe it's what the only implementation that the developers could do with something like that instead of like a forest location. Alright, so I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to try and, I'm going to go down to level 12 and see if I can find the waypoint there first, since it's every other level of the dungeon. And then I'm going to go ahead and go and take care of Andariel, or Andariel. Might be how you pronounce that. And I just want to be able to do this, so that way I'm hoping I can find the waypoint down here and take that and take care of that straight away, so that way I don't forget to do that. And then next session, hopefully I don't have to worry about backtracking or trying to go through levels of the dungeon again that I've already been through. And it looks like we have a lore book down there. I have no idea what I triggered down there, but I guess it must be those champion demon things. So they explode in a fireball when I kill them. So. They are juking and jiving back and forth to try and avoid me, it seems. There we go. Alright, is there anything else down here? Don't really care about the elixirs. Alright, we have lightning demons, and so our life probably got a bit harder. I'm not sure if our lightning spells are going to be able to damage them, but we'll see. It appears that's not having an effect, so we are going to have to switch. Alright, let's get our golem friend out here to help us out a bit. I could also use a little bit of guardian magic here as well to try and deal with some of these guys. Oh, and there's level 13 if I want to go straight down there, so... But I think I want to find the waypoint first before doing anything else. Alright, now while I am... Okay, I thought I was clear of enemies, but I was mistaken, so... Let's go ahead and get some guardians down here. Yeah, the duration on Guardian is pretty good. At least at the level of spell that we're casting it at right now, so... I might as well pick that up. Alright, let's see what the Black King tome here has to say.
Hail and sacrifice to Diablo, Lord of terror and destroyer of souls. When I awoke my master from his sleep, he attempted to possess a mortal's form. Diablo attempted to claim the body of King Leoric, but my master was too weak from his imprisonment. My lord required a simple and innocent anchor to this world, and so found the boy Albrecht to be perfect for the task. While the good King Leoric was left maddened by Diablo's unsuccessful possession, I kidnapped his son Albrecht and brought him before my master. I now await Diablo's call and pray that I will be rewarded when he at last emerges as the lord of this world.
So the tome that we just read, very ominous and does not bode well for Prince Albrecht's chances of still being alive. So yeah, I think that the king's fears were definitely well founded, and I guess the depression over, his missing son, sadly, I think that his fears were well founded, that that his son didn't make it, basically. But yeah, we were already able to, at the very least, lay King Leoric's soul, hopefully, to rest, and allow it to go to the afterlife and that kind of thing. Defeating him earlier in our playthrough, but yeah, so not exactly sure who wrote this, the Black King. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Hail and sacrifice to Diablo, Lord of terror and destroyer of souls.
I guess it's someone who serves Diablo in some way, so I don't know if that would be... I guess it could be the Archbishop Lazarus, which led everyone into the dungeon in the first place and did the whole betrayal bit on them and did all that, but I mean, it could be the Archbishop that wrote this. It could be someone else who's just a follower of Diablo that wrote it some time ago. But then again, it does reference Prince Albrecht, so it has to be more recent, I guess. So it's not like an ancient lore tome. It has to be something fairly recent, at least, in terms of the timeline and the events that have happened here. So yeah, Diablo, definitely something that, or someone that really needs to be stopped here. Because I guess you could say not only is Diablo really, you know, super powerful as any demon from hell would be, but his followers are also quite powerful, and people that follow the evils of hell and offer their service. Let's get a couple guardians in there to kind of clean up our area over here a little bit. Our golem seems to be a bit stuck back here, so let's go ahead and hope they can get on the right track here to get the action. You're going the wrong way, golem. You're going the wrong way. I guess fire protection does have some value here with some of the, I mean, where you have a lightning shooting enemies, so maybe it doesn't have that much value here. Oh, a recipe. Well, this is the first time we've come across something like this. I guess it's like a crafting recipe, I would have to imagine. Yep. Well, I guess. Oh. Sorcerer's Helm. What's this? I guess I have to go back into town and go to Griswold's anvil at his blacksmith to be able to see what the item is, I guess. So right now I'm still just looking around trying to find the waypoint for this area, and I think I found it. Alright, well now that I found this, let's go back to Tristram here. Alright. So yeah, I guess there's nothing really that, I guess since I already used the recipe, I don't really need to worry about that. Okay, so increased mana, magic bonus, and then random magic properties. So far I have not come across any of these kinds of items, so I'm not even sure if I'll ever get the opportunity to craft anything like this, but might be something that players consider on the higher difficulties. And I guess Varnum is out here too, and he has something to talk with us about. First we're going to go Well, I guess we'll talk to him first. Because then we can talk to the townspeople about what's bothering him.
Hey, you there. Come here, listen up. You know about the island where angels watch? Pick the right rocks, but you better shield your eyes. Shield everything. I know, 'cause I've been there and... Ale.
Yeah, ale solves everything, I imagine. for Farnham, at least, it's a good solution to a lot of things. So I guess he's talking about angels and
Can't a
things
fellow
like that.
drink in peace?
Nope.
Hey, you there. Come here, listen up. You know about the island where angels watch? Pick the right rocks, but you better shield your eyes. Shield everything. I know, 'cause I've been there and... Ale.
Yep, ale. Alright, Kane,
Hello,
what do you
my
know
friend.
about this?
Stay a while and listen. An island where angels watched? Although Farnham's memory is often cloudy these days, that does seem familiar. Perhaps the ancient chronicles of the Sin War can help us. Ah, yes, here is something. In a time long forgotten, a sea of blue rested on the edge of the fiery netherworld. This was an oasis for those who acted as the watchmen over the gates of hell. Angels and warriors of light could use this place to heal themselves and gather their strength. It was also a staging area where they could train and prepare for the Sin War. Legends speak of a trinity of rocks that hide the path to this island of the Sunless Sea.
Trinity of rocks.
Well, what can I do for you? Farnham speaks of a place that exists, at least in legend. Warriors would go to a place at the edge of hell to gird themselves for battle against the armies of darkness. If the stories are true, untold treasures could lay upon this island of the Sunless Sea.
Okay, so it seems that this is maybe sort of like a historic kind of tale that at least some of the townspeople have heard of.
What ails you, my friend? For once, I can vouch for Farnham's extraordinary claim. There are many mentions in the books that I've been reading about a place of great healing, where warriors of light would go to mend the wounds sustained in the Sin War. If you could find this place, it would most assuredly be to the benefit of us all.
And it seems to be an important place, as they're alluding to. Place of place to go ahead and rest up for people kind of maybe the powers of heaven on the front lines, the celestial types. It's sort of like a place for them to rest up from all of their daily things that they have to take care of in battles and things like that.
Good day. How may I serve you? Those are the words of a drunkard. I don't see how they could be true.
Over here. This is one time that you should listen to Farnham. I have heard of this place, and I know a few sorcerers who have tried to create a portal to get there.
Aha. Okay then, well, that might be a clue that we're going to have to make a portal to teleport or to travel to that location, I think.
Greetings, good master. Welcome to the Tavern of the Rising Sun. You know, sometimes I wonder how much faith you can put into what Farnham says. He spends so much time reliving his memories of the labyrinth and just being plain drunk that he doesn't always make much sense. I guess you could ask around, though.
Okay, so Ogden and Gillian don't really have a whole lot of faith in Farnham, and I guess aren't really familiar with the tale.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
No real spells for us to look at there.
I sense a soul in search of answers. This legendary place is real, and great rewards await you should you find it. Nothing more can I say.
So we did get one hint from Wirt that, you know, there's going to be... Maybe we have to teleport or create a portal to get to somewhere. And I guess, oh, this guy has something to say for once. Maybe this is in relation to the Andariel or the Andariel quest, maybe, I don't know.
I have had a most disturbing experience that I must share with you, my friend. Earlier today, I was called upon to help one of the men that escaped from the labyrinth. He was deranged, violent, and kept lashing out at all of those who tried to calm him. I suspected that he was possessed by some sort of demonic entity, and so began to drive the evil from within him. After many hours, I was able to exorcise a demon who called himself Fleshdoom, but the Hellion fled into the labyrinth. You may think that I am mad, but after speaking with the man and battling with Fleshdoom, I believe that the labyrinth has somehow become a gateway to the underworld. As you descend deeper, you may find yourself upon the doorstep of hell itself. Finally, the man who was possessed retained memories of an ancient demon blade named Shadowfang. If you find the demon Fleshdoom, beware this foul sword. While I fear the dangers below grow even greater, you must find Fleshdoom and slay him. Bring the sword to me and I can destroy it. But do not wield it, for its power can corrupt absolutely.
Okay, so we gotta kill a demon called Fleshdoom, and then the sword that they have, definitely something that you don't want to use, otherwise it'll kind of corrupt you like the Ring of Power from the good old Lord of the Rings. I guess that's kind of like an appropriate comparison there that people would probably be familiar with. Alright, so that's several subquests that we now have in a jiffy.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. The priest Tremaine is a holy man from an ancient order. Their dealings with the evil forces at work are well respected and well documented. I too have heard legends that speak of the cursed demon blade called Shadowfang. It is said to consume the tortured souls of its victims. These souls are trapped within its ebon blade and augment its unholy power. I have also read of a great hell forge where even the mightiest weapon could be created or destroyed. Tread carefully when dealing with Shadowfang and its master, lest you be drawn into the sword as well.
So that's what the good priest was probably referring to. You don't want to, you know, if you use it, then your soul could end up somehow being trapped inside there, like lots of the other poor souls that were cut down by the sword.
Well, what can I do for you?
Okay, and then I go ahead and go through the dialogue here for Fleshdoom, and then I think I might call this episode a bit early since there's 3 separate side quests that we have to deal with here. We finally were able to go and find our next
What
waypoint.
ails you, my friend?
We found our next waypoint. We did a whole bunch of things here, so might be a bit of a shorter episode compared to my standards, at least, so...
I was asked to assist in the exorcism. My skills were able to ease the poor man's suffering as Tremaine drove the demon from his body. While I was treating him for an exceptionally high fever, he spoke of a place of searing heat. The tortured fellow cried out about hell and falling into a pit of flame. I could not make any sense of it, and thankfully he soon recovered.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely, we're at the point in time now where enemies that we face are these different side quest type enemies and things like that. They definitely have some kind of, I guess you could say, thematic sort of ramifications and aren't just like your common demons that are just super strong and that's it, or something like that.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Wrong button.
Whoa, what can I do for you? Ah, you speak of an ancient and evil weapon. Tread lightly in this area, for the legends of Shadowfang are as black as a moonless winter night. Crafted within the Hellforge, Shadowfang can rend the very soul from whoever it strikes. Ah, I do not envy you if it is in your mind to defeat the one who wields it. May light protect you, brave hero.
Yep, so the indications that we're getting is from the townsfolk is that you definitely should not wield the blade and actually try and use it. So I don't know if in game there are any mechanical ramifications for or repercussions for doing that, or if we can even get the sword, but we'll see.
Stand a fellow drinking peace? You're gonna hunt down a demon? Is that what you said? I know I didn't hear that. Because nobody hunts down demons. No, nobody.
I guess Farnham objects to us going out to fight demons and slay them like the hero that we are, so... I'm gonna go demon hunting.
Good day. How may I serve you? I heard that the priest Tremaine was going to perform an exorcism, but I didn't go. I don't see why we all have to spend every moment captive to what is lurking underneath our town. I know that many have died at the hands of these monsters, but we need to try to go on. I know that you have come here to free Tristram from the clutches of darkness, and I hope that one day we can live in peace again.
I do too, Gillian. I think everyone should be able to live in peace, so... I can definitely understand that sentiment. You have to be able to move on and just kind of deal with it the best you can instead of looking over your shoulder every time, just every couple seconds to make sure that a demon isn't coming behind you to kill you, so...
Psst, over here. I don't know who this Fleshdoom is, but I have heard rumors of an ebon blade that cleaves a soul from the body. Even I would not try to sell that thing, no matter what the profit. If you find it, you should do as Tremaine says and destroy it as quickly as possible.
Yep, well that will probably end up being the plan, so I don't know how I'm going to destroy it, but again, we'll see. It's not something that I've done before in this game, so it'll be interesting to see how it's implemented as far as the quest line goes. Let's go to move on to Adria here and see what she has to say about this demon, and I think we'll call it an episode.
I
here.
sense a soul in search of answers. You must be ever watchful, for Fleshdoom is an enemy who is both cruel and quick. His ebon blade is composed of the essence of evil. If you can destroy both of them, it would do much to weaken his dark master.
Alright, well, so we got some interesting opinions on Fleshdoom and different bits of, I guess, background information on that people had to offer in their own way. A surprisingly high amount of people actually knew something about the Fleshdoom and you know, that little story that we have going on there.
All I can do now is pray for us all. All I can...
Yeah, so I guess Tremaine the priest doesn't really have anything else to talk about, I guess. Yeah, at first I thought that Tremaine was maybe just a blank slate NPC that wasn't really implemented in time, but he was there. And I didn't know if it was just a flavorful addition from the mod, the Belzebub mod that I'm using, but I guess apparently Tremaine does serve some kind of purpose for this quest line here later in the game, so nice to see that at least something came of him and him getting some dialogue. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode at the very least, so I thank everyone for watching, and so next time we're going to have several different quest lines to kind of explore here. We have Andariel, one of the lesser evils of hell, the succubus demon type. Then we have the island of the Sunless Sea with different, you know, kind of angel type stuff going on here. Interesting stuff. And then Fleshdoom, a demon with a sword that you just don't want to mess with and you would really want to destroy and not ever use it because it's going to have a, I assume, have a chance of kind of sucking your soul from you and trapping your soul inside the blade or the weapon forever. And you don't want that to happen, so better off to kill the demon, destroy their weapon, and not looking back. So we'll see what happens with all that next time, and I thank everyone for watching and joining me for this next chapter of my Let's Play of Diablo, the original. And hopefully you all join me next time, and I hope everyone had a lot of fun and enjoying the new content from the Belzebub mod, even if you've already played Diablo and Diablo 2 years back or even recently. Hopefully this playthrough has given you some new experience into it and insight, and enjoying the story, the NPC dialogues, and enjoying the way that I'm playing the game. Even if I'm not perfect, I do my best, and I'm hoping that the play style and the choice of the Sorcerer has panned out well for the viewing experience. So thank you all for watching, and hope everyone has a great day, and as always, take care.